I really started working with him after the Terrence fight because I was in a dark place after that one, and he helped me out a lot.
Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now. Let's start off with this, man. Bobby Green, he's going to change his name legally change his name to King. Would you ever change your name legally to Steamroller?
I mean, I never actually thought about that. Like, I was never really in love with the name Matt. Like Matt is a very like generic name. I don't know. I don't think I have it in me. But that
and
would be
he's and he's just going with King to King, just King, like Prince, Madonna, like he's up there with that level, I guess.
yeah, that's a bold move.
It is.
But I feel like Bobby Green's the kind of guy to do that.
Exactly. Kind of connected to that as well, Steamroller is like your nickname, right? So, the UFC, they're kind of combining forces with WWE, it looks like. Does that world intrigue you, man? Because I was thinking Steamroller and Billy Q tag team. Is that possible? Do you think that would
Oh,
be crazy?
dude, that sounds perfect. Honestly, that sounds like we need to do that. I think that's right up our alley. A little tag team match,
Yeah.
little ladder match, little cage match. I'm putting somebody through a table.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Didn't Billy Q go to Buffalo and throw someone through a table or something? Like, did
He
I?
did.
He
That's
did,
what the
right?
Bills fans do. They put through tables. So I think that's perfect for this new WWE UFC merger.
Did you watch wrestling when you were a kid?
Oh yeah, man. I was a big time WWF back when it was
Oh, that's right.
WWF. Watched like The Rock, Stone Cold, Mankind, The Big Show. All those guys back in the heyday.
Mm.
I was into it.
The Rockers, do you remember them?
Vaguely. I mean, I know The Rock, but like the
Shawn
W.
Michaels. Shawn
Oh yeah,
Michaels?
Shawn Michaels had the sweet chin music.
Yeah. He was in a tag team with Marty Jannetty, I believe. That's the name. The other guy's name, and they were the Rockers. I could kind of see you guys in that role, you and Billy Q. You guys
Yeah,
could grow some mullets out because both of them had mullets, long mullets as well. Why not? You know what I mean? Sounds fun though.
someday.
Yeah, definitely. Now let's get into some like actual fighting. Be some real fighting. This pay-per-view is gonna be your seventh appearance on a pay-per-view card. Some of these fighters, man, they fight like three or two times in the apex and get cut. What are they missing out on when they don't get to fight on a pay-per-view card?
Yeah, I love fighting on the pay per view cards. Every time there's like a big card, I always like want to get on it because again, like I'm a fan just as much as a fighter. I love like the big fight feels. I love like seeing being at the fighter hotel and like seeing like Izzy, seeing Max Holloway, seeing Dustin Poirier, seeing McGregor. So I mean, I think it's just the big fight feels. You could feel it. At the fighter hotel, you walk outside and you got like fans like with pictures like trying to get autographs and stuff, especially at Madison Square Garden. Walking outside the hotel in New York City. It was like people had pictures of me. It was nuts. So I think it's just the big fight feels of the pay per view cards. I love. And I think we're doing something right because they keep putting us on these big shows.
Yeah, definitely. And hey, man, this next fight is it's like well deserving, man. Well deserving opponent for you. Exciting opponent, a top 15 opponent. What do you see in Drew Dober and his style?
Dude, he's a beast, man. Like I had fun watching all his fights. He's got like almost like one of the best like knockout highlight reels in the lightweight division. He's a tough dude. He's a great striker, and he comes to fight, which is exactly what I do. So I'm excited.
He's kind of on a similar path as you in the last couple of years. In 2021, he didn't have the best year. 2022 came back and won all his fights. Did you notice that? Like you guys kind of did the same thing?
I did, and he's on a tear right now. He's
Mhm.
on like 3 fight win streak, all TKOs. I'm on a 2 fight win
Yeah,
streak, TKOs. So I think that our paths are crossing at the right time.
definitely. And when you go back and watch his fights, does anything really stick out about his approach? Something that you notice changed in him, maybe?
Um, no, nothing really in particular, but he he goes for it, and he's not messing around. So that's how I fight as well. So I think it just makes for a great fight.
What do you think his last three opponents did wrong against Dober? Is it is they did they take too much risk against Dober? You know what I mean? Because it seems like when the guys get too risky, that's when Dober kind of shines.
Yeah, he's a killer be killed kind of fighter, and he's been doing the killing, but against me he's gonna get killed. So it's that's kind of how I fight too. We live by the sword or we die by the sword, and I'm doing everything physically possible to come out on the right end of that fight.
What about the mental side? I've been talking to fighters recently, and they've talked about the PI, like offering like coaches, like mind coaches, like fight psychologists. Have you dug into that side of the game yet?
Yeah, I have. I actually did. I worked with the guy's name's Micah over there, and he's actually the man. He's a cool ass dude, and we kind of have FaceTimes just like I'm doing with you, and he's helped me out a lot, man. I'm not gonna lie. I really started working with him after the Terrence fight because I was in a dark place after that one, and he helped me out a lot, and I'm still using a lot of the techniques that he helped me with and taught me, and it's really making life in general, not just fighting. It just makes life better, where you got to enjoy the ride.
And your last two fights, man, back to back first round knockouts, spectacular knockouts as well. Did you even like get into a game plan in those fights?
um yeah, eventually I'm a mixed martial artist. I know I've been knocking people out, but I feel like I know my roots. I know my wrestling roots. I love jujitsu, and eventually I wanted to get there and use my wrestling, use my jujitsu. It's just we didn't get there, which I'm not mad about. But we'll see. Maybe the next one is the time that I get to remind the world that I could wrestle and I could do jujitsu. But we'll see if it gets there.
Yeah, it seems like fans or spectators or just people that watch the sport, they kind of get caught up on the last couple of performances and they forget like you said the roots of certain fighters, and then all of a sudden when they pull it out in their next fight, they're like, where did that come from? But actually, they've been doing it the whole time. You know what I mean? They've been ready to pull it out. You know what I mean? And I like that about the sport.
Yeah, definitely, man. The like I said, like the real ones know. The people who've been following my career from the beginning know. What I can do, and that's the best part about this, that I get to build new fans, new followers, and show them every aspect of mixed martial arts, and show that every aspect is exciting, and that's what I do. I'm not a lay and pray kind of guy. I'll take you down and I'll pound you out and I'll work for submissions and show some beautiful jujitsu, and that's just exciting, to me as two guys just throwing down. So I love it all, man, and that's what I'm able to do, and that's what I'm capable of.
You do have experience though already against top 15 fighters. You know, what I mean, you beat Jalen Turner, you fought Armon on like what was it, like a week's notice or something, like 2 weeks notice.
It's a day's
Oh, days.
notice.
Okay, days. Sorry. Days notice. Yeah, they switch it up, right? You guys are both supposed to fight. Like, having that experience, right, and having the victories as well. What kind of psychological effects does that have on you heading into this fight? Because Drew Dober he's a killer and he's a top 15 opponent.
Yeah, I know that on my best day I could beat anybody in the world. And I also know that, I could lose. I'm human, but guess what? He's human too. So I'm gonna do everything I can to be as prepared as possible, and I'm gonna step into that octagon and I'm gonna leave everything I have in there, and I believe it'll be enough.
Training camp, it's running concurrently with Sterling, man. How has that been, the environment? I know you got a bunch of other UFC fighters as well helping you out.
Yeah, it's going great, man. Aljo actually just got back to New York. He's finishing camp now, back home, and it's awesome having the champ in the house. It elevates everyone's game. Just his energy, being around is awesome. Um, and everybody at the gym is like beasts. We just got killer after killer after killer. You know. And everybody helps each other. Everybody feeds off each other, and we're led by the general, Ray Longo. The godfather of MMA, Ray Longo, who leads us and tells us what we need to know. Tells us what we need to hear, not what we want to hear, and it's a great environment to train at and to become a champion in.
Is Ray Longo the modern day version of that coach in Rocky?
He's a better version of that
Okay,
coach.
better. Okay, better version. Better version. All right.
Yeah,
Is Sadikov your main training partner?
yeah, yeah. I get a lot of rounds in with Nas, and Nas is always tough rounds, always tough work, and he's always willing to help whenever I need him. So it's been great working with him, and I've been getting a lot of great working with Dennis Bazooka as well, and he's been giving me a great look. And then Dylan Montello, I was getting great work with him. He just had a big win. We also had Anthony Delemy just had a big win. Kid Justin Montavo's back in the gym getting after it. Charlie Campbell's back in the gym getting after it. We just got so many killers in this gym. It's like hard not to get better training with all these guys.
Recently, I've been seeing certain fighters say that they have gone away from like hard sparring during training camp. How much of the hard sparring do you do during a training camp?
I definitely do a good amount. um, uh, but really, I try to have, one hard spar with like big gloves. Sometimes we throw the headgear on, and then I'll have one, you know, like flow spar with MMA gloves. But you know how that ends up. But with the MMA gloves, we're definitely looking to grapple more, and try to take a little bit off the with the power. But you know how it goes. And then boxing, I've been boxing like once a week as well. So I've been doing a lot of sparring this camp, and I've been healthy, man. Knock on wood, it's been a great camp. And you always have to listen to your body, but I think sparring is definitely important. Leading up to a fight, just to build your awareness, to see your punches and build up your cardio and push your how you want to fight. So I think it's definitely important.
Does the sparring kind of like have keep the edge, so to say, during a training camp? Sometimes some fighters they need that. You know what I mean, pushing them.
Oh yeah, 100%. And the way we spar at Law MMA, it's like Saturday. Everyone, you get one sparring partner, and it's like a fight. Like everybody's got their sparring partner. It's like me versus Nas. Dennis versus Delemy. Quiet Man versus Kid. Aljo versus Marab, and everybody takes turns using the cage, and then the whole gym is around watching and like almost like cheering on. And before, like when you're like warming up watching these, like you kind of get those butterflies, you get those fight feels. they're almost like smokers, and it's like dress rehearsals, but everybody knows, we're not in there to hurt each other. We're in there to work. So we put the big gloves on. We keep it safe, but we get great work.
I think regular people, even with the big gloves, if they get punched one time, they're just like, you know what I mean? For you, it's like it's nothing, but for regular people, even if they put on like the 16 ounces and get like just one little shot to the head, they think it's like, man, that's kind of hard, right? When was the first time you got hit like the hardest, and you're just like, holy shit, this actually hurts.
I mean, when I get hit, I just go to my instincts and I wrestle, and those are some good instincts to have. But it's good to get in there and spar. It's really a life changing thing when you start training, and then you realize that you're not made of glass. That you can take a shot. That you could take a shot. You could give a shot. You obviously have to. You don't want to take too many shots. But once you realize you're not made of glass, it opens up a whole world, and then you get after it.
The expectations, man, people have for this fight, because this is like, it's not even a sleeper fight. People know like this is gonna be high pace. This is gonna be there's gonna be some extremely violent exchanges in this fight. What are your expectations against Drew Dober, though?
Again, I know he's going to come out there and meet me in the center and he's going to throw down. I'm expecting the best version of Drew Dober, um, but I'm prepared for it. I'm excited. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm feeling great. I'm in the prime of my life, and the time is now. I'm on that two fight. I'm on a 2-fight win streak. I wanted a big fight. I was pushing for a big fight because I know, the time is now. So we got the big fight. I'm putting in the work. I'm ready. So I'm ready to finish camp, perfectly, and then go to Jersey, have a great fight week, have a great weight cut, and then face this guy. Face this guy and leave everything I have in that cage, blood, sweat, and tears, if it comes down to it. And as long as I do that, I'm gonna be happy with myself, and I'm gonna have a beer with him after.
Man, you're gonna have your people too in the crowd, just like you did in New York, man. That's gonna be great for you.
Oh yeah, it's great. I think that they're starting to figure out that when they have a fight of the Northeast, they steamroll on the card. So and it, and I'm pumped to be on the same card as him.
Yeah, for
you know
sure. Uh,
uh Aljo main event versus Cejudo.
mm.
It's really a dream come true. Fighting on the same card as him. I think we're gonna put on a show, and we're gonna take over.
Yeah, it's great to see the Cerro Longo team have kind of like their next generation fighters coming out and blowing up. You know what I mean? I think that's what it is right now for you guys. You know, you had the Matt Serras and the Chris Weidmans, and now it's like you and Aljo and Marab. It's like the next wave in a way. Do you feel that?
Oh yeah, man, no doubt. And there's like another wave
Yeah,
coming too.
yeah.
Uh, so it's exciting time.
For sure. Um, one thing that I noticed on social media is that, you know, the bigger profile that you grow, you got people wanting to fight you. And I noticed that some guy from Australia like made a fake poster like calling you out. You know what I mean? And you actually know the guy. You've seen him. You've trained with him in
Yeah.
the past, right? Like, what'd you think of when you saw that? What'd you think of all that? You know, you just think it's like, hey, man, I guess it's part of just becoming more of a well-known fighter, I guess.
No, man. I mean, good luck to him.
Hmm.
Good luck to him. I hope he does make it to the UFC, and I hope I do get to smash that. He was kind of a fucking. He was a dildo, man. I'm telling you, like he was. But good luck. Good
Hmm.
luck to him.
All right, all right. And one last thing that I wanted to ask you about is, of course, probably the one of the biggest fights that's coming up this year is McGregor versus Chandler, man. And what do you see in that one, man? Because it's kind of like similar to like your fight with Dober, man. It's like we're expecting some high pace, extreme violence, man. What do you see? Like, who do you see having the edge in that one?
I think uh, I think you got to go with the juiced up McGregor, man. Uh, McGregor on the sauce is just gonna plant that straight left right on Chandler's chin. Like like you said, McGregor. I feel like McGregor does good against anybody who's got reach on because like that's why he was so good at 145 because he had that advantage, that size advantage, and that reach, and he uses it so well. So he's got that on Chandler. So I think he's gonna utilize it.
May 6th, UFC 288, New Jersey. Go in the descriptions, download the AllStar app. Matt, thank you, man, so much for the time, and it's gonna be an insane one, man. I'm excited, man, for this. This is one of those, like, I was excited for your other fights, but this is more exciting because you have a top 15 opponent. That just makes the level just rise to the top,
Yeah.
man.
Yes, and I will rise to the occasion. So I'm excited too, bro. I appreciate you.